Good morning, YouTube. It is not the Airbnb that I'm in right now, and I'm outdoors. It is 10 o'clock on Tuesday. It is now September. Jesus Christ. It is September. We're at the storage facility where I've got all my stuff from my apartment in San Francisco, because today is moving day. Last night I picked up the keys to the new place. I have a photo of it that I'll put here, but I don't have a video of it. But yeah, the movers got here half an hour ago. They're loading up the truck. They're taking all my stuff out of the storage unit, and then we'll go to the new place and then unload everything. Okay, YouTube, here it is. The whole place is completely empty. All the movers came with my stuff and everything is in the middle because I need to paint the walls. The seller patched up everywhere they hung photos or the TV were like, they did a really good job actually. So they patched like every tiny little imperfection in the walls. It's like super smooth. But the thing is, that means I need to paint because all the patching is not painted. The main reason I went to Home Depot, I'm trying to get cable internet. There is a coax cable that is coming out of the wall, but it's not terminated. That means it doesn't have the plug on the cable. And I went to Home Depot to get a tool kit that would let me terminate said cable. I couldn't find it in the aisle. The person there couldn't find it, but on the website it said there's some 7 of them in stock. So I actually did a pickup order online, and when that's ready, I'll go back there again. But I got a bunch of paint color samples so I can decide what color I want. I don't know if I should try to paint it myself. I told a couple of friends maybe I should try to paint it myself, and they're like, are you sure you want to do that? So I'm also trying to get quotes from a couple of painters. The first order of business though is to get the internet working. The data connection on my phone does not work very well in the apartment. Once I open a window or go out the patio, the phone works great. When I'm inside, the data is flaky. There's like maybe lead paint everywhere, because it's like a slightly older building. And just now you saw me having food at Fresh Corn Grill. It's one of my, I don't know if it's my favorites, but it's one of my regular go-tos. And I used to live here in West Hollywood. They have 2 or 3 locations in LA, and I think that's it. And one of them is really close here in WeHo. Home Depot called this set of tools. It came in this little toolkit, which would have been perfect for 40 bucks, that I need to crimp and terminate and put a plug onto my coax cable. They called me and said, oh, it's out of stock. I just went to one of the local hardware stores here in West Hollywood. What I'm looking for is too specific for a smaller hardware store. Unfortunately, I would love to just get it there because they're like a local business. They've been there forever. They have the plugs that go onto the end of the cable, but they don't have the crimper, which is needed to actually crimp or secure the plug onto the cable itself, and they don't have the cable stripper for me to strip back the end of the cable. I did Home Depot earlier today. I'm gonna try Lowe's. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. I went to Lowe's and finally got the tool. It was actually one single combo tool they sold there for 20 bucks, and it included the little plugs I needed put onto the cable. So it actually worked out really well, except for all the gas I burned and all the time I wasted. So back at home, I got the plug crimped onto the cable, and I have my cable modem, which you need for internet, but I haven't used it, the cable modem, in like 2 or 3 years, and I thought I had the power supply for it, but I do not. I basically just drove to Office Depot, a different kind of depot, and then I got a whole new cable modem. If this luck continues, even when I get it home, it'll be like, well, I have everything, but the cable is probably dead or doesn't work. Just because I put the plug on it doesn't mean there's a signal coming out of it, or something is gonna blow up and will be a mess, or like something will not work, or I'll be missing yet another thing. All right, this is the moment of truth. All the wiring for the internet and the cable and everything comes into this top part of the closet. So I've got everything plugged in. That's my router and that's my switch. If you are computer freak, you know those terms. And this is the cable modem that I just bought. It's booting up right now. So this black cable that's plugged into the back of this guy is the cable that I put the plug on before it was just like a bare cable. I am assuming that is the correct cable, that the cable company's signal comes in through that. There's no other cable that it would come in via. So I'm hoping that I put the plug on properly and that it works and that I have internet tonight. So I was not crimping the cable incorrectly. I literally tried 5 times. The cable doesn't go anywhere. The cable actually goes here. I looked before to see this coax cable that's coming out of that wiring closet. Does it stick out the back of the TV? And I thought I didn't see it there. I thought, okay, it doesn't go at the back of the TV. I don't see that cable. It must go to somewhere functional, but no. It's kind of frustrating. I don't want to have to use DSL. The previous people were using DSL. DSL is gross. Hey YouTube, it is Wednesday. This is what we are going to do. I went to Home Depot and I got paint and paint supplies. So last night I was going to bed, I was preparing to go to bed, and I actually felt like a little depressed or maybe bummed about the new place. And I thought about it a little bit while I was trying to fall asleep. And I think the reason for that was twofold. One, it doesn't feel like a home yet, but I was kind of really excited for the new place, and maybe it was a bummer in my head that I had to paint the walls because of all the patches and I couldn't get the internet done, which leads me to the second point. Was I think in my head I had it built up as a little more turnkey, which is not quite the case. I have 2 cell phones, my iPhone and then my backup phone, because I need to get Spectrum on the chat or the phone, because I need to have them actually send a technician out. Their default policy is during COVID, everyone does a self-install if you sign up for internet. But I needed to actually run a cable from the garage, which is right downstairs, up into one of my closets. I talked to the HOA and I talked to the building management today. That's what has to happen. The alternative is AT&T, which I pay the same amount of money for internet that's like much, much slower and crappier. I do have to get this done before Tuesday, before I go back to work, because I need internet some way, somehow. Actually, you know what? I can maybe go to a friend's place to work for a while, but I don't have internet yet. But anyways, I want to paint the walls so that I can start unpacking things and at least start setting up some of my living room, because without at least like a couch and like the TV, I think it just doesn't feel like home at all, and like that's contributing to feeling a little bummed about the place. I thought I was gonna be really excited to have all my stuff so that I can start unpacking everything. The fact that I can't unpack because I have to paint is like a bit of a bummer. Friends have told me not to try to paint myself, but painters would take like at least a week to schedule out. For a couple of the painters I talked to, they couldn't accommodate me for like another week and a half or 2 weeks, and I can't have everything not unpacked for like that long. I'm gonna do just the living room. There are a lot of patches you can see on the walls here. I don't even see on the camera. The lighter parts are the patch parts. So I am going to do a single coat just in this living room, dining room area. I think I can get it done before the end of the day. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be like good enough. It'll do. Let's do it. It is 11:30 almost at night. This is Wednesday and I'm sitting down to technically had dinner. The dinner was half of lunch, but had a half lunch, not a full lunch. And breakfast wasn't very big either. I'm having food. I got the entire living dining area painted. So voila. It looks a little itsy bit more purple. So I'm gonna hold judgment, full judgment, until I wake up tomorrow and see it in the sunlight again with the whole room paint it now. Even if it was maybe not the ideal color or the color I thought I was going to get exactly, I'm not painting again. It's actually not that hard to paint. I am not painting any area of this apartment twice, but I'm really proud of myself. Tomorrow, we're gonna take a little break from painting. I still need to paint the other 2 bedrooms and the hallway, and typically there's a patch over there, which means I need to paint this whole entire kitchen now. But I'm gonna start unpacking things tomorrow, which I probably should have started unpacking early, but I didn't want to unpack the living room until I painted it because it would be way easier, and it was way easier with none of the stuff in the way. I had the movers put everything in the middle of the room so that I could paint. And yeah, it worked out really well. So by the end of tomorrow, we'll have hopefully the whole living dining area set up.